Hi. Good morning. Hi, everyone. I hear myself. That's weird. That's not weird. That's awkward. More than weird. One second, guys. I'm putting some stuff up. Things are gonna look a little different today. Just a tiny bit. Something that you might be already used to. Aha! Aha! We are here. Okay. Oh. Whoops, that's the schedule. Hi, guys. Welcome in. Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. How's everyone doing? Hello, Nimby. Hi, Scampy Doo. Hi, Cube. Hi, Zeb. Hi, Tornado, Nicolay, and Soul Wilder, and Quick Catlick. Dom. Moogie. Hello. Audio's a little odd, a little robotic. Huh. A little robotic. Are you hearing static? Oh, I know why. I think this is this better? I was using the wrong mic output. Didn't you see the news today? I heard it said it looked like rain. What does that mean? I am in a completely different... Are you looking for a weather forecast? This is not a weather forecast. Welcome to a Ark morning radio stream, but we are not talking about the weather today. No, it does not look like rain, at least not in my area. Not on my side of the world. Now you have captions too? Yeah, we have captions too. Isn't that neat? We always had captions, but like sometimes I just don't put it up. It's raining where you are at. I am experiencing a very nice sunny day. The grass is green. We're getting a little bit of breeze. A slight breeze. It's not too windy, no. The other day I saw a blue jay. It was almost in my face. I heard that they were assholes, but they do look nice. The only bluebirds we have here. How are you feeling today? I just realized I remembered my coffee, but I don't have my water. And for some reason, instead of water, I have a glass of red wine. Okay, you know what, guys? I'm going to grab some water. I will be right back. I should not be drinking wine in the morning. All right, see you guys in like 2 seconds. All right, I am back, kind of. You don't see me yet, but you hear my voice. Hi. Mondays, am I right? Exactly. Exactly. Everyone deserves a glass of red wine in the morning. On Monday mornings, especially. That's so cool, you're a wolf. It's Halloween. Maybe you guys will see this more often. Are my redeems turned on? They are. The thing is, what I just said earlier was the lyrics of Weather Girl. Oh, really? Weather Girl. Wait. Is that that's a song, right? Lyrics? Weather Girl. We're gonna find out what that is today. It's a 2009 song? No. You know, I realized that if I were to type in Weather Girl, I just get images and pictures of Weather Girls instead of the actual song. I should have realized that sooner. This is by Flavor Folly. There's a lot of songs called Weather Girl. There's a lot of them. It is Weather Girl by Flavor Folly. Ah. I've never heard of that one, I don't think. I know of Flavor Folly just because I'm in the VTuber scene and everybody covers songs by Flavor Folly. So I just listen to the covers, but I actually don't listen to any of their music. You should listen to it. Right now, wait, hold on. We need some music though. Does this work? It does work. Does the good sign name Killshot Baby? What? Is that another lyric that I don't know of? You guys are listing so many song lyrics. You know what I realized? What I realized is that I guess like decades ago, everybody listens to the same type of songs. Everybody knows the same songs. Everybody listens to the same songs. But as the years progress, as we get to whatever year it is this year, 2025, there are so many songs out. There are so many songs out. There's so many artists that are debuting every single year to the point where like nobody can keep track anymore. And like now we're all listening to different stuff. Which is neat. Which is neat because now there's like just a huge selection of music. But so many times you're like, hey, you know, have you listened to this song before? Or have you heard of this? Or have you heard of this artist? And like, I would say 90% of the time, people are gonna go, no. Don't know who that is. Don't know the song name. Yeah, I love music. Yeah, me too. I do. And the same goes with art. Like, decades ago, we only had a few digital artists. Very, very few digital artists that we know of. Because digital art back then was still a new thing. So everybody followed the same digital artist and we all learned from the same digital artists. Now there are, I don't know, there's just so many now. There are so many. Everyone's really great at creating things. This is the age of creation, guys. Of digital creation. I only listen to video games OST music from the 90s and earlier. See, that too, like, you don't expect people to know the game OSTs. I mean, but back then, like, music from the 90s, I think is pretty common. And video games from the 90s are pretty common. But, like, there's so many games out now. There's so many games out. There's so many video game OSTs. From geared to bands to YouTubers to many hidden gems. I think that's what it is, yeah. The age of digital creation. I sample every ARK karaoke and save it for in a specific folder. No, you don't. No, you don't. I know you don't. Because one stream takes up like a few gigs. And there's no way you'd wait that long to download it. We're no longer in the 90s. We no longer wait hours and hours. We no longer have the patience to wait hours and hours to download something anymore. Some of us don't have an Alienware. Look, the only problem with an Alienware is that it has really bad airflow. I think outside of that, everything inside is fine. It just has terrible airflow. And the reason why it's shat on is because it's so much pricier than a regular PC because they're selling the aesthetic. But here's the thing, I got my Alienware for like 1.7k. Sorry, 1.7k, 1700. This is a 1700 PC, which is very, very cheap for what it's worth. I have a 3080. In 2008, the Alienwares were like insane. As in, they were bulky, they were heavy, they were bad in general. I mean, they had like the best hardware inside, but it was priced beyond what we expected of a... It's like Apple. It's like, why is shit on Apple? I know there's like a lot of Apple fanboys, but it's like, you are not innovating anymore. They were good back then. Yeah, they were good, but they were still ass. As in, they looked terrible. They were heavy for no reason. I'm just thinking about the Alienware laptops. Ark, let's say you're in a rage room with a bat and the room is a TV, cups, plates, and shit ton of stuff. What's the state of the room after you're done? I don't rage. I don't like... Here's the thing, I would never enter a rage room because I wouldn't do anything in it. I'm not a person that would... use my energy to de-stress. I don't think... Or physical energy to de-stress. The silent rager... I think it was... If I was angry, I usually just cry it out. I just get really mad, I get really frustrated, and then I cry it out for like a few hours, and then I'm done, and I'm like, alright, back to work. Ark doesn't rage, I envy how stoic you are. Yeah, I usually just disengage. Like, once I realize that I am feeling angry, I just disengage. Entirely. I just go, okay, I'm gonna say nope to everything that I'm doing, and everything that I am... Or the situation that I'm in, and I'm just gonna walk away. And I'll walk away for... I don't know, as long as it takes until I'm calmed down, and then I will come back to the situation and be like, okay, how do we handle this from a very logical point of view? With no emotions at play. Would sit in a room and chill in the silence? I think I would... I'd probably inspect everything and be like, hey, what's this? This is neat. This is cool. I mean, if I'm locked in there for long enough and I can't leave until I break something, I'd probably just be like, let me just break it for the sake of finding out how it would feel. I'm too lazy to rage. That's me too. You can't see Ark mad, you can feel it. Yeah, I'm very, very good at controlling my rage, I think. Very driven by emotion. I'm the complete opposite. Not rage enough? You don't rage enough. Do you want to rage more? You should play more Valorant. Play Valorant with all of the... everything unmuted. All of your teammates unmuted. Actually, do you already play Valorant with people unmuted? Used to be that type of person when I played more competitive games, took a permanent step away from that because of it. Yeah. Even when I'm playing TFT, I think I get kind of mad. And then when I finish a game, I'm like, I felt like I lost a year of my life. Oh man. Sounds like torture. Competitive games? Valorant? Why Valorant? Just play League. You know what? You're right. Just play League. Just play League. Even I can't play League. Even League is too much for me. Actually, you know what's even too much for me? Even Final Fantasy XIV is too much for me. Like, I cannot play Final Fantasy with other people. I know it's an MMORPG. I know in MMORPGs you're supposed to be playing with other people because it's the one of the M's, or no, both of the M's in MMORPG. It stands for massive multiplayer. You're supposed to be playing with other people. But when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV, I am put into a raid situation, or I am put in a dungeon with other people. I freak out a little bit because I'm like, oh man, now I got expectations I gotta meet. Oh man, now I got responsibilities. Oh man, these people are gonna be so disappointed in me. So I don't know, it's not the fact that I will rage at other people, it's more like I don't want people yelling at me. The way to avoid raging in Val is to rage bait the enemy first. Ask Patch. I'm very good at that. I have a friend who does the exact same thing, but I'm like, how do you... I don't know how you guys do it. How do you guys do it? What? Rage baiting. How is your redeem sounds on? Is your redeem sounds on? They are on. I just can't hear them. Oh, thank you for the stretch and hydrate from 7 minutes ago. I can't hear them because I have one earbud plugged or in my ear. The other one is not in my ear. And they're very low. The volume is very low. Can you guys hear it though? Can you guys hear the alerts? Let me just drink some water. The air is getting so dry. This is cool because now I have like 3 cups in front of me. I have like red wine, I have water, and I have coffee. And every time you guys redeem a stretch and hydrate, we gamble. We go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one do I drink now? It was Call of Duty for me. Hello, Yua. Did I say hello to you already? I feel like I have. I saw your name and I couldn't tell what came out of my mouth. Whether it was hello or it wasn't hello. Maybe, did I even say anything? The cycle is always get the new game, have fun, wipe the floor with anyone. Matchmaking starts putting me against people who are way too good. Repeat. Ooh, yeah. Call of Duty, I heard, was also another one. You know what was really friggin' funny? What was really funny one time is that, I have a baby cousin, okay? I have a baby cousin. She's not baby anymore. She's in her 20s, but she was baby to me. And I remember when she was tiny, she was a tiny baby. She was like 10 years old, right? I was like, hey, what do you do in your free time? Like, what do you do at home? And she's like, Black Ops. COD. And I'm like, what? Did I hear that right? Mind you, she was 10. And I was like, wait, is my uncle and my aunt like watching what she's doing on the internet? She grew up, yeah, she's very tough. She's physically tough too. I think the best way to describe her right now is she is a mountain. She looks like a mountain, she acts like a mountain, she's like a quiet, silent mountain. How would I describe her, like, outside of being a mountain? I mean, like, physically, yeah, she's a mountain. But she's like Merceau. She's like, if Merceau was gender bent from Limbus Company. She looks like Merceau too. She is gender bent Merceau. So like every time I see her, every time there's like a family gathering, I'm so intimidated. I'm like, okay, I'm like looking up at her and I'm like, okay, hi. It's hard to imagine that I used to call her my baby cousin. In today's question, will she notice us? I see you guys. I do see you guys. What do you mean? What do you mean? Black Ops at 10, I can tell you from experience that tracks. I feel like a lot of you guys probably played shooters very early. It just wasn't me. At 10, I was playing not 10, like 10,000 years old. I was playing Pokemon. I was playing like friggin' Ham Heartbreak. Aren't you gremlin size as well? I'm not. I'm only a tiny bit shorter than you, Clock. I'm only tiny bit shorter than you. Which isn't much. Which means I am very, very regular when it comes to, very average when it comes to height. Hello, Fen. Good morning. Jumping jacks are only if you're late and not me, right? Yeah. Yeah. You're fine. There's no jumping jacks today. We were on time. We started stream on time. At exactly 9:30. Perfect head pat height? Am I? Nah. I don't think so. Don't you have a bathroom to go lay down in? Hey, be nice. Hey. Ark. Ark, 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 Ark. What's N-Corp Ark like? If one existed, do they rage? N-Corp Ark. Maybe. I don't know. Because I'm not N-Corp Ark. So I don't know if I rage. I would have to actually jump through dimensions and go into a mirror world and be like, hey, where's the other N-Corp me? And then I will have to experience it myself. Or experience the world, you know, have different types of experiences. Because your personality is determined by everything that you've experienced in life. So that's why I don't think if I lived in a different world, I would have a completely different personality. I am who I am right now because of my situation and my environment. With ads, might as go, well, feed the birds, don't get too weird. That's true. Ads are starting soon. Ads are starting in 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes. I might step away for 3 minutes for ads. So, unless you guys want me to stay here. 3 minutes is a very long time, though. Ads starting in 4 minutes and 18 seconds. So it's not 5 minutes, but it's close. I have to blow my nose 1 second. I'm gonna test something, actually. Okay, never mind, it works. I thought my compressor wasn't working. We're back to using old filters, old mic filters. So things might sound a little stranger today. If things sound robotic, let me know. N-Corp Arc probably plays Summoner's Rift instead of TFT. I was almost there. I was almost at a point where I became a League of Legends player. Because I did start it. I did start it because all my friends played it. I think that was the first time I've ever raged. So I lied. I lied when I say don't rage. I have raged before and it was in League of Legends. I think that was when I was like, let me just step away from the game. Let me step away from the game. I'm like one of those players too, where I'm very passive. So I don't try to engage in like people shit talking. Or when someone is going like, hey, you should do this and do that, I go, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And when someone's like, oh, that was a shitty play, I'm like, okay, sure. And when someone's like, oh, you're trash at this game, I'm like, yep, okay. But then like eventually it does get to you and I'm like, oh god, I feel mad. Because I know once you start learning a game, right, you start knowing how to play the game, and when people keep giving you backseat advice in League of Legends while in game, you're like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. And I still go, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. But like in my head, I'm like, oh my god, they're stupid. I remember asking about the pop filter thing for the mic. Oh yeah, pop filter, physical pop. I mean, pop filters are physical, but for today, I'm using not physical filters, but OBS filters. I'm back to using my old OBS filters. The other filter that I've been using for the past 2 weeks is a combined filter that has everything in it, versus the one that I first started when I first started streaming. I'm using like multiple, like 100,000 filters. Did I miss a nya? I missed a nya. And it's stretch and hydrate. Thanks, Blobby. Thanks, Blobby, nya. Sadness, nya. Why are you guys all sad, nya? I got a new keyboard today, nya, and the exclamation key doesn't work, nya. Uh-oh, nya. Does it come with firmware, nya? Do you have to update your drivers, nya? I gotta drive. Goodbye. Have a safe drive on the road, clock. Yeah. Yeah. 60 euro keyboard. I got warranty though, yeah. 60 euro keyboard. Yeah, that's what happened with my keyboard, yeah. And then I ended up like remapping all the keys anyway, yeah. So it's fun. I used to be really into keyboards. I have an ortholinear keyboard, yeah. And if you guys don't know what that is, yeah, thank you for the follow, Robert Skylord, yeah. If you guys don't know what ortholinear keyboard is, oh shoot, ads are starting right now. Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger. I'll tell some of you guys what a ortholinear keyboard is after the ad. Okay, I will be right back. I'm gonna go pee. Hi guys, I'm back. Sorry for blue balling you. Right, what were we talking about? Ortholinears? Ortholinear nya? I'll keep going on with the nya until I feel like it's over. Hello nya. But yeah, an ortholinear keyboard. It's essentially a keyboard with all of the keys lined up in a like very single file manner. So it's all like in the same row and in the same column. So if you were to look at a regular keyboard right now, like the keys are kind of, you know, they're set diagonally from each other. But an ortholinear is when all of the keys are like in a grid format. And I love that keyboard. I love it to bits and pieces because it was so customizable. I could remap everything. I was actually thinking of remapping the keys to a different keyboard layout. To another keyboard layout, yeah. And I don't know what it's called, but apparently the QWERTY keyboard layout is actually not very optimal. It's not good for, I mean, it's not to say it's not good for us, it's not good for our fingers, but like, it's not the most optimal way of typing. Because the reason why we have a QWERTY keyboard layout is because it's supposed to work with a typewriter. Because for typewriters, you're not allowed to press certain keys next to each other or something like that, because it wouldn't work. So that's why they had to design a keyboard with a QWERTY layout. But for our fingers to work, to like, you know, work properly, for the most ergonomic way of typing, the QWERTY keyboard layout is not the best. So I was thinking of, whoa, we have double cat ears. Oh my goodness. Oh, what's going on? Let me just take that away. Let me take away all the ears. Bye! Bye! Hello, Jun. Yeah, 4 ears. We're 4 ears maxing. Dual cat ears. This is what I mean by comfy mode doesn't work with the cat ears. It's either comfy mode or we do cat ears. But we can't do both. It doesn't work. I wish we could have both redeems. I wish we could have both of them. And the reason why I'm not using ortholinear now is because it's missing function keys. It's a very, very small keyboard, the one that I have. And I play Final Fantasy XIV, and I need every single button I can get my hands on. Especially with all of these key combinations that I have. It feels like I am playing Osu, but with 500 keys. And if I don't have function keys on it, I have to change the keyboard to another map that I have in order to access the function keys, and that's an extra 3-4 buttons that I have to press. And that's way too much. I'd like to say ain't staying for long. It's nighttime at my time zone anyway. Bye-bye! Bye-bye! Thanks for coming, L Corp Nugget. Thanks for coming to say hi. Have a good night. Do you have a mouse with extra buttons too? I don't. I really want one. I want one of those MMORPG mice? What is the plural form of a computer mouse? Do we call them mice? I've always wondered. I never figured it out. I've always wanted one, but they all look ugly. They all look so goddamn ugly. I need my desk to look aesthetic as possible. It needs to look really good, and that's why I'm like really into keyboards, because I like customizing keyboards. I like making my keyboard look good. And my mouse has to match. If it doesn't, I will get slightly mad. I won't rage, but I will get slightly mad. And so everything has to be the same color as well. Yeah, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to visuals. I need things to look good around me. And that goes with streaming as well. I don't know if you guys noticed, with all of my layouts and stuff, I refuse to put extra stuff in my stream layout, because I hate it looking crowded. So you guys will not see any of my merch, like my Uwu Market stuff on here. You guys will not see any little, I don't know, announcement thingy-majiggies on my stream layout, because I just hate the look of it. Nikkei released keyboard buttons, just saying. Let's see what it looks like. Nikkei keyboard. They're okay. Am I looking at the like official? Do you have a link to it? Danish? Do you have a link to the Nikkei keyboard? I want to show you what my keyboard looks like. I have the Melky keyboard. I have the Melky plastic one. Here it is. Copy. This is the one I'm using right now. Wait, this one's tiny. This one tiny. I need to show you guys a big picture of it. Here it is. This is my keyboard right now. I didn't change any of the keycaps because I really like the caps for this, and I love translucent designs. I love translucent designs. I don't know if you could tell from my streams. This is plastic. Yeah, this is plastic. So I didn't change anything about this layout. I didn't remap it at all because I just like the look of it in general. They have a black version. I used to have both. I had this white version and I have the black version. The black version is just, it's still green, black. It's just the white parts are black. And it's slightly bigger. This is a 10 keyless. The other one is, it has all the function buttons too. But I ended up giving that one to a friend because they were experiencing a little bit of carpal tunnel and like joint pains. So I was like, you know what? Just, they're too lazy to, you know, not lazy, but they don't really know anything about keyboards, and every keyboard that they used so far was kind of ass. So I was like, here you go. Take my Melky keyboard, my other one. Keyboard moment, yeah. One day I want to do like another customizable keyboard. I only have one right now, but they're so expensive. They're so expensive. I know Hale also does a lot of keyboard customization or customizing keyboards because it's such a fun hobby. One day I'll get back to it. Actually, I did change something. I changed one thing about this keyboard. I have a tiny keycap that I bought, and it's a retro, it looks like a retro Game Boy SP. It has a tiny screen on it that if you have backlight for the keyboard, it glows. So that's cool. I replaced the escape button with it. I wish I could go back to design, but going back to prototyping in the big 2025 would financially ruin me. Yeah, everything's so expensive now, and plus with shipping, all the parts are expensive. It was a lot cheaper before, and things were a lot easier to get. Because I think back then, like, keyboard customization wasn't such a huge thing. There wasn't a lot of hobbyists. So you could just grab switches from I wouldn't say like warehouses that distributed them, but like there's some places where it's like here's some switches that are super cheap and you could just grab them from us. But now everyone's into keyboards, right? And they're like, yeah, we can make this into a business. At least I'm pretty sure that's what they're thinking. Yeah, this is business now. This is a real business. I love TKL. It took a bit for me to adjust to the layout as I've always been with a 65. I like the look of smaller keyboards. I love the look of smaller keyboards, but when it comes to gaming, I need big ones. And so I can't play Final Fantasy 14 with the keyboard I'm using. I can't. I have to switch it out. I love a good keyboard build though. Yeah, me too. Me too. I used to be in love with blue switches until I realized that they were like a little bit too loud. And then that was my first keyboard ever. My first mechanical keyboard was one that had blue switches. And I was living with another family member at the time who were really old. And they were very strict with sounds, with noise. And I remember them going, "Hey Ark, why are you hammering on your keyboard every single night?" And I'm like, it's not me. I'm not trying to make noise. So I went the complete opposite spectrum. Instead of blue switches, I went and got like linear switches, and I got red switches. It was either red or white, I forgot. But it was the ones that didn't have the click at all, and they were really smooth. But I'm like, I miss the tiny click, right? That tiny like feel to the keyboard. So I ended up with getting browns, and then from browns it kind of just evolved. It evolved into like all these. They have so many different ones now. I don't think I have browns. I think I have like kale something. I forgot what they were. I have so many, I don't know. I have some like panda ones. Stealth mode. I wish, yeah. I am still playing on stealth mode right now because the people I currently live with are also all about being quiet. So that's why it's so hard to stream. It's so difficult to stream for me because I have to make sure that I am streaming at times when they are either not home or they're also kind of awake and doing their own thing. Hi Zem, welcome in. Now with tariffs are more expensive again. Yeah. It sucks. It sucks. I remember my parents messaging me and they're like, we're gonna come to visit. Do you want me to bring anything? And I was like, I didn't want to burden them. So I was like, nah, I'm good. You know, you don't have to bring anything for me. But like, I've been regretting things because they live in Asia where everything, all of the manufacturers and the production is. And I was like, ah, man, I should have asked them to bring me some parts. Even like fabrics are so much cheaper for cosplay. Like buying fabric here is so expensive. It's so expensive. I might as well just buy a readily made costume and have it shipped over because buying fabrics here is I don't know, my wallet's gonna go empty and I'm going to feel like I need to move out and live under a bridge. I prefer quieter keyboards. That's fair, yeah. I hate blue switches now. I hate blue switches. I don't like the clicks anymore. I used to love them. I hate them. My current keyboard is using the Owl Lab Hall effect switches and they're so nice. Surprisingly good for typing but excellent for gaming. Stratagem input is so much quicker. I've never heard of that before. Owl Lab Hall effect switches. Let me just Google that. I love how it's like, yep, Owl Lab Hall effect switches uses Owl Lab Hall technology. Like what does that mean? The Hall effect technology. What is that? Oh, okay, wait. Hall effect technology is a contactless magnetic sensing system that allows for near instant actuation. So you're saying that this is very like, it's very fast. With adjustable travel distances. Wow! This eliminates the physical wear and debounce delays found traditional mechanical switches, resulting in a switch that feels fast, fluid, and reliable for years to come. But what does it sound like? But that's my verdict. Well, whether I like it or not will stem from how it sounds like. There's a wait, hold on. Wobble comparison, sure. But where's the sound? Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm guessing these ones don't have the click to it either. I was just watching a video and there's like, it's split into, how many sections are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 sections. I love how they separated the video so that I could find exactly where it is, where I could listen to it. It's very fast. A very nice thok. I put a small video of it in Discord and off topic. Ooh, let me take a look. Tomorrow we'll take over Hall effect. Speaking of halls, I got myself some halls. They're not candy. They're like cough drops. Yeah, cough drops. Because I realize that there are times when I'm outside and when a sudden something like gets caught in my throat, then I end up with a coughing fit for the entire day. So it's nice to have 1 or 2 drops in my bag, in my pocket. Where is it? All I see is Japanese stuff. All I see are Danish's pictures. Danish looks like he's having a wonderful time in Japan. Amazing. Cough candy. Cough drops. They're a bit thockier, creamy adjacent in sound. Yeah, I'm watching the video now. It is a very good sound. I really do like it. But it's too linear for me. It's too fast. What in the world did it come into? We were talking about keyboards. We were talking about keyboards. I just realized that there's so much empty space. That annoys me. There we go. I feel taller now. Overstimulation, I think. Me or you? Who's overstimulated? 1 second, let me blow my... The Keebs, yeah, the Keebs. The Gion district tomorrow in Bamboo Forest. I've never... Actually, maybe. Did I go to a bamboo forest? I went to a forest in Japan. I don't know if it was a bamboo forest. And the forest had a lot of crows. There was a murder of crows in the forest. It was their home. And it was just me. It was just me at the time. I was walking through the forest alone. And suddenly, I get hit with a and then suddenly I'm surrounded by and I can't see them. I don't know where these crows are, but I think they were mad at me because I'm invading their territory. But it was a very terrifying experience. I felt like I was in a horror movie. I thought I was going to die. Screaming crows are terrifying, and plus they're massive. But the problem here was I couldn't see them. When I was in the forest, I couldn't see them anywhere. I only could hear them, and I was like, they're somewhere around me, and they're gonna swoop in at any moment and pluck out my eyeballs. Sounds awful. Yeah, I kind of just ran. I was like, yeah, I don't want to be here. Let me just go. But usually that's like the last thing I would think of when I am in a forest, like be scared of, you know? The last thing that would kill me, usually I think like a bear or a wolf or some sort of mammal-like creature. And not a murder of crows, not a murder of crows. Yeah, Final Destination imagination. Yeah, they really did not want me to be there at the time. The name of a group of crows is so edgy. Yeah, a murder of crows. That's how I remember it, because it's so edgy sounding. I could say a flock of crows. Technically, that would work too. Some crows with a grudge will do you in. I love crows, but at the same time, I hate them. I have a love-hate relationship with crows. I think they look cool. I think they're really smart. I respect them a lot. But I don't want them anywhere near me, right? Like, I don't want to be on the bad side of crows because I know I'm gonna die. They're gonna kill me. I'd rather just look at them from afar and be like, yeah, you're cool. As long as you don't bother me. I guess the same goes with a lot of predator-like animals. Crows or ravens, there's a difference. Crows. The massive ones. The big ones. Are those crows or are those ravens? I'm guessing the crows are bigger and ravens are smaller. But I don't know. Ravens are bigger. Oh, then they might be ravens. Wait, are ravens just crows? Is there an umbrella term? Yeah, you're right. Ravens are generally bigger than crows. They look the same though. They're like slightly bigger. I think if I were to ever see one in the wild, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a crow or a raven. What about in Japan? Are the birds in... Oh wait, ravens have bigger beaks, I think. Or a Japanese crow. They look the same. Never mind, they look the same. I search up Japanese raven, I get the same exact images on Google. I search up Japanese crow and I get the exact same images as if I were to search up raven. What the heck? They look the same. Corvids would be the umbrella term. I'm gonna start calling them corvids from now on because I can't tell the difference. I think crows are smaller. Ravens are bigger and they have a red tint. I'm seeing some ravens with blue tints. Schrodinger's raven. Yeah, who knows? I see a blackbird and I'm like, that's a cool blackbird. I'm gonna assume that you're a crow. I'm assuming you're gonna kill me. I mean, they're both gonna kill me. It's funny as both birds are classified as songbirds. Is it because of this? They're able to mimic sounds? They can sing, right? Like, for instance, you were to put up like Billie Jean's by who is it from? For example, if you're to put up like Mamma Mia by ABBA, and you have them listen to it several times a day, they'll end up learning the song. Ravens mimic human speech is really uncanny. They can mimic it perfectly. Parrots too, right? Parrots too. Like, there was that one great African parrot, Einstein, who can speak very well. Magpies are also in the corvid umbrella. Magpies are just Australian crows to me. I'm gonna start calling them from now on. I go to Australia. Look, it's an Australian crow. I think people would actually kill me if I said that. I can't even tell the difference between crocodile and alligator. Would not even try crow and raven. Wait, crocodiles and alligators are a lot more different, aren't they? Alligators versus crocodiles. Never mind, they look the same. You're right. They look the same. Why can't we just shove them under the same category? So it looks like a crocodile has a thinner snout and a alligator has a thicker one. Okay, I think that's the difference. Alligators have a snout that makes an A. No, but it looks like the alligator has a bigger snout, like a wide one. It's the opposite. The crocodiles have the A snout, and alligators have the wide round ones. Is this diagram messing with my head? My parrot used to imitate my mom perfectly and used to yell at me in her voice. And you have two people yelling at you at the same time. That sucks. Imagine if I had a parrot and the parrot learned how to yell at me, then I would just hear Orc Crevice, my full name, like every single day, and it would kill me. I think I would want to change my names. I was playing Metal Gear Delta and my sis made fun of me for not knowing the difference between an alligator and a crocodile. See, I don't know the difference either. They look the same. One will see you later and the other will see you in a while. I guess that's the difference. I love that. It'd be funny to go to the woods and train them satanic summon prayers and release them at night, and there's a lot of visitors, especially Christians. The raptors. What is that? I don't understand. I was watching the video and I was like, what is going on? What is going on in that forest, the woods? Oh my god. It would be fun though. It wouldn't be funny for them. It might be funny for me, but it wouldn't be funny for them. I would rather not do that. The correct things to do is to teach a raven to say nevermore. Why? Why? What is the reference for that? When I think of nevermore, I think of the game Nevermore. Is it just so that... Is it like a evil thing? Is it an evil thing? And Edgar Allan Poe. Oh, Edgar Allan Poe. Oh. Oh, I see. It's a poem. Did you guys study Edgar Allan Poe in school? Hold on, let me drink some liquids. Hello, just joined. Hello, Chair on Wheels. Welcome in. Why are you on wheels? You did in freshman year. I don't think I've ever studied it. I don't think I ever did. My English teacher, though, she was a scene kid, you could tell. She had an emo face, you could 100% tell. She had she had very, very dyed, bleached, platinum blonde hair. She wore heavy eyeliner. Her hair was straightened. It was layered and it was straightened. She had the scene hair. No more X-Ark. Yeah, no more. It's because we redeemed comfy mode. Let me just... Here, take it back. And then... I don't know if the smoking was part of it, but she smoked so much every day. Work. Studied a lot of random poets in school. I'd say that one of that always stuck with me was a poet that could only capitalize letters in certain words. I hated reading that. Why did you type it that way? My brain was confused for a second. Whenever I see a capitalized word, right, or capitalized first letter of a word, in my head, my brain just processes that as a completely new sentence. Like, that's where the new sentence starts. Because I'm not a person who really pays attention to periods in sentences, not really. And so that really messed me up. X-Ark is not Nyark. It could be Nyark, it could be X-Ark. I could be a very fluffy cat. I could be a Maine Coon. I could also be X-Ark. I could be Wark. Who knows? Who knows what type of animal I am? If you guys had to choose an animal to be, if you guys had to be a furry, like I point a gun at you and I'm like, put on a fursuit now, right? Like, what animal would you guys choose? You have to choose one. A sheep, a frog. Really? A frog? Why frog? That one makes me confused. That one confuses me. Okay, sheep makes sense. Sheeps are fluffy and I like to look cute. Sheeps look cute, but frogs are slimy and they're nasty looking. Their eyes are so wide apart and they're way bigger. Their eyes are so much bigger than other animals. Like, it's just not proportional to their head. A frog is an interesting answer. Snow leopard. Alright, okay. Snow leopards are pretty. A horse. I'm just remembering like the Gregor horse from the Wiz Company where he puts on like a horse mask but his head is peeking out from the neck. It depends on how the fursuit would look like. I feel like horse would, you know, it could look good. A tiger, does it have to have fur? No. You could be a scaly if you want. You could be an avian. A bird, I'd have to think of what kind though. That's true, there's a lot of types of birds. There's also a lot of horses, a lot of different types of horses. There's also a lot of different types of frogs and sheep. A few types of tigers, but when I think tiger, I just think of the default orange tiger with black stripes. What is his name? Who's the Frosty Flakes guy? That one mascot. I like to glub glub and jump in puddles. Ew! Ew, I hate that. I hate that so much. What's tardigrade? What is tardigrade? Ew! I don't like these things. There's another name for them, right? Ah, these are nasty. Or water bears. I know them as water bears. Oh, I hate them so much. They look so plump. They look like their body is inflamed. It looks like someone injected fluids in their body and they're about to explode. Are you going to strike the demons down? What demons? No? Maybe a snow owl, though I probably stick with basic bitch wolf because god I love snow. What does wolves have anything to do with snow, thought? There is no relation between snow and wolves. cold weather. Snow, wolves can live in regular temperature weathers too. No? Unless... Do wolves live in cold weather? In jungles? In cold weather only? We're gonna find out today. Actually. God, what's with the AI mode on Google? Stop it! They are built for the cold. But they don't only live in cold weather. But they can adapt. Okay. Okay, fine. Maybe because I'm in Canada and we get wolves, we get a lot of wolves. So I'm like, yeah, but we get, we get really hot summer weather too. They have the coats for it. So they live in temperatures, they live in climates where there's like season changes. They live in areas where there are season changes and it can go from really hot to really cold. So they just adapt. At this rate, I might change my doodle request just to make Ark suffer. Do you want to be drawn as a frog? I can totally do that. We went from keyboards to what animals we'd be? A porcupine. You hate people. Why a porcupine? Unless you want to be Sonic. I think that's the only thing I can think of is if you want to cosplay as Sonic, then maybe you'd cosplay as a porcupine hedgehog thing. Otherwise, I'm just gonna assume that you hate people. Sonic is a hedgehog. Same thing. Sonic the porcupine. I prefer the no touching rule. See, then you could have just chose hedgehog or something because hedgehogs have smaller spikes, whereas porcupines have like massive spikes. And to make it proportion to your own body, they would be huge. Those spikes would be massive. You would have like blades on your body. Porcupines and hedgehogs are different species? What? Hello Zephyr, do you fetch stars now? I'm a star fetcher. Porcupine? And a hedgehog? Are they the same? No, they belong in different... What? They look the same though! Porcupines are rodents. And hedgehogs are shrews and moles. Aren't shrews and moles also rodents? I am so confused. I'm learning so much stuff. We need Ark to watch some animal documentaries. I actually haven't watched any before. I've not watched a single animal documentary. I've only watched clips of them. I watched clips of them on YouTube, just the funny ones. But no, I haven't watched any animal documentaries in my life. What is it? National Geographic? That's one of them? Why are we talking about animals? Because it's a just chatting stream. What do you want to talk about, Zephyr? The David Attenborough? Who is that? I feel so uncultured. I don't know a lot of things, I realized today. Oh, he's a British host and biologist. Oh, he's the guy narrating all of the animal documentaries. I'm guessing, because I just hear the same guy narrating or commentating on animal stuff. I'm guessing it's this guy. Wait, I've seen his face before. I just don't know. I just never knew his name. Just wondering where it came from. Where did it come from? Oh, someone asked me if I was a cat or a wolf. And I said, you guys need to tell me the animal that you want to be. It's Sir David Attenborough. Sorry, my bad. Sir, he's knighted. Sir? You don't know the David Attenborough? No. Hold on, let me just drink some liquids. Wait, I was kidding when I said that he's knighted. He is actually knighted. That's cool. I didn't know that. A swig of wine. How did you know? Exhaustion hydrate. I was like, I need some alcohol for this. There's just too much information flowing in my brain. It actually is a bad word. What is? Did he get auto-modded? Hey, why are you testing stuff in chat? Hey. 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 So you're drinking wine. I mean, I'm drinking multiple things. I'm drinking water, I'm drinking wine, and I'm drinking coffee. Like I said, every time you guys redeem my stretch and hydrate, it's a gamble. I play eeny, meeny, miny, mo in front of me. With the 3 mugs. Testing what? I'm not testing anything. You're testing words that are banned in chat. That's what you're doing. Going back to porcupine and hedgehog, they just have convergent evolution similar to certain things like crab-like and not crabs. Are spiders just crabs? Do you think crabs are spiders or spiders are crabs? You're using the vocabulary I learned. Wait, what did you learn? Wait, what's the word? Keep typing in chat, maybe I'll see it. Everything is crabs? It all returns to crab? Crabs are great. Crabs are yummy. Crabs are water spiders. Sea spiders. Plonket? That's a British insult? What does it mean? Are you teaching me bad words? Don't know about spiders being crabs. Arachnids have 8 legs, while crabs have... Crabs have 10 legs? Wait, what? I thought crabs only had 8 legs. I thought... Have you tried gejang before? No, what is that? Is that also food? Is that marinated crab? Is that what it is? Marinated raw crab? I'm guessing. Yes? Then I have. I actually love it so much. I love eating the crab heads. And we were at a restaurant. My friend wanted me to try it, but they can't eat too much. Because they were like, oh, this is like too... like there's too much of that seafood taste and they only wanted a little bit. They ended up ordering a lot, right? And I'm like, why did you order so much? And they're like, because I want you to try it. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I ended up eating like almost the entire, I don't know, I ate like 5 crabs that day. You gotta mix in the head. I mix it with rice. I think, is that how you eat it? Or you're just mixing the head all together? Yeah, I love it a lot. But they're like, they only had like half a crab and they're like, here you go. The rest is yours. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I did enjoy it though, but I was like, I'm not having crab for another like 5 months after that. Never counted legs. I don't think I have. No, they have 4 legs. They have 4 legs. Sorry, not 4. They have 8 legs and then they have 2 claws. So it's still 8 legs. They don't have 10 legs, right? I've eaten crabs before, guys. I've seen crabs before. I know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure I remember 8 legs. See you later. Goodbye, potato. Gonna learn some British insults, alright. One of my music teachers. He was British. He's also a conductor. He's a very, very good musician. And when I was living in a different country, and sometimes I would find him on the streets, like on a day off, right? Not during school time. Where he's trying to call a taxi. But the thing is, he's like white as heck, right? So like people, they don't want to talk to him because they're like, what if he only speaks English? So they like the taxis, they don't stop for him. And so he like this man, he runs after the taxis, going, "You bloody wanker! You bloody wanker!" In the middle of the streets. It's so fucking funny. But yeah, he's hilarious. He's like, he gets mad really easily too. I love British people, they're so funny. They're Brits and the Aussies, yeah. The claws are considered legs too. I mean, if you're counting the claws as legs, then yeah, they have 10 legs. You helped him sometimes, right, Ark? No. I didn't. It's more funny watching him from afar. Like, I'm in the city, I'm like, oh, look, there's my music teacher. He's just chasing after the taxis. Yeah, why are you still here, Potato? I thought you were leaving. What happened? Yeah, my school was filled with like very, very interesting people. Very, very interesting people. I had like a lot of my teachers were British and Australian. Actually, no, I was gonna say like my entire music department was Australian, but they weren't. Should I have joined in for the harmony of insults? I am not a person who shouts. And I don't have the same accent as him, so it doesn't work. I need to perfect the British accent. So you just stood there and watched it all happen? Yep. Yep, it's great. Like, I don't know, I loved a lot of my teachers. I remember one of my other music teacher would invite me into her house all the time. Her daughters were my classmates. So we would just like hang out in her house and she'd be like, "You want some beer?" And I'm like, "I'm underage." And then we'd play. I remember when we all graduated, she invited our tiny ass class. We only had like 5 people in the class to her place. And then we played a beer drinking game. Like whoever needed to use the bathroom first loses and has to drink more. She is pretty cool. A lot of my teachers are pretty cool. Schools must have been quite different 3,000 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. All of my teachers were pretty cool. We had one nasty teacher, but she was old and she was boomer. I hated her. She knew about the reputation of your school. Yeah, they all did. All of my teachers knew that we all partied and we all drank because we didn't have a very big class of students. Like we all knew each other. I knew every single person in my year or my grade. Depending on where you are, I think if you're in a British curriculum or a British school, Australian school, they call them years. In North America, they call them grades. But we didn't have a very big population of students, so we all knew each other, and I knew like people from other years as well. And the teachers knew where we would go clubbing and where we would go drinking, so they would avoid those specific places. That was our school reputation. That was our school. It's a lot different from a lot of schools I know of in the area that I'm living here. I don't think kids these days go bar hopping. It was just me in my school. I do not encourage it though. I don't think it's a good idea. As a teacher, meeting students in those places sounds like a nightmare. It actually is. It is. There are situations where like I don't want to talk about them, but there are situations where I'm like, yeah, it can get kind of awkward. Especially like with my group of friends, because my group of friends are kind of scary in a way. Like they don't just bar hop, but they go clubbing. They're the type of girls that sleep around a lot, so I'm like, all right, you guys do you. So when you meet someone that you know from school at a club, it does get very awkward. It gets very awkward. Yeah, it's pretty yikes. It's pretty yikes. What was cool though was that we actually knew a lot of the students and teachers from other schools as well. So we would see them in... It wasn't just our school. It was like a lot of our competing schools where everybody would go to the same places. And so we would know them. Okay, here's my super hot take though. We have multiple schools around us. I would say around like 3 schools around us. We knew all the students, we knew the teachers from there as well because we would compete with them for sports and music events and whatnot. There was one school that was very conservative, like very, very conservative. The rest of us were party schools. But the bad thing about being in a conservative environment is that once those gates come down, once those doors come down and the students are like, oh yeah, now we can do whatever we want, it gets really freaking crazy. Like they will go like beyond whatever that we were doing because they're like, oh yeah, now we have no rules. Like there's nothing holding us back. And I see that a lot here as well, where I am, where there's like, you know, like crazy frat parties in university, or like, you know, I don't know whatever goes on in the house parties, but like I hear stories where like police gets involved, and I'm like, our party schools never went that hard because I guess we were introduced to all of this pretty early. We're all introduced to like, you know, partying pretty early, so like nobody actually, we knew the limits, right? Whereas that one conservative school, once they graduated, we found them at the clubs and the bars, and they were going way too hard, and they didn't know their limits. So you had people like almost dying on the streets, and we're like, nah. No, we just leave them alone. They do their own thing. You go crazy, that never leaves you. I am retired, guys. I'm done. I'm done with the party life. That was my school life. Now I just want to hermit at home and just not do anything and not leave. It's also a weird culture shock because when I moved to where I am now, everyone around me was like, yeah, let's go party, let's go clubbing, let's go bar hopping, and I'm like, I'm so done with it. I feel like an auntie. I'm retired, I'm old, I don't want to go out anymore. Drinking way too hard, a Finnish person is expert on this subject. Yeah, like, I drink casually, but I know my limits now. I feel like I kind of know my limits now. Retired now, it's Monday morning wine time. Yeah. Yeah. I hate everything about drinking parties and never liked them. It depends. Like, it really, when I say drinking parties, it depends how hard it is, right? Like, my favorite type of parties is where I just invite people over and we sit at a dinner table and we just talk about random stuff. And there is like a little bit of alcohol, but no one's like, we're not blasting loud music. We're not like drinking our lives away. We're just chilling and we're chatting and we're catching up on life, right? Like, those are my favorite types of parties. Casually and in the mornings. It's a habit now. It's a really bad habit. I'm trying to break out of it. It didn't start from school though. This started because I was working at a tech support job. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with these people who don't know how to read. And I'm like, I need to get into a meeting with someone with an like illiteracy of like a 13-year-old. So I'm like, let me just take out a glass of wine. That's gathering your friends, not a party arc. That's totally fine. It's still a party in my books because there's a lot of people coming over and we're all bringing food. We're all doing food catering and whatnot. A gathering is still a party. Thanks for the head pat, Shanzi. Hello, welcome in. Ads are starting soon. I need a small break. I never thought I'd get into this topic, like going back into my school life. But it's fun. It's fun reminiscing. It's fun talking about this. Because it has been a very long time. I am an auntie. Or at least auntie aged. The only party I got into is one where everyone is planning on a raid and grinding stuff. Yeah, like the game parties, the MMO parties, the World of Warcraft parties. Those are ones that I'm down for. Getting friends together in one place at the same time in your 30s and accomplishment worthy of the term party. Yeah, I do think that everybody should at least try to catch up with your friends. Someone was talking to me about this one thing that I'll get back to after the ads because I've been drinking too much liquids and I need to pee again. But there is something I've learned recently that I think is very much worthwhile to keep doing and keep developing as a habit. Okay, I'll see you guys in a bit. Goodbye. See you guys in 3 minutes. How do I leave? How do I leave? I am back. Hello, hello. What ads did everybody get? People who did get ads. Hi, hi, hi. Yeah, I was talking about a habit that I'm trying to build. What ads? True. True. Sometimes I think about maybe I shouldn't leave during ads, but I think it's a good way for me and everybody else to just take a break from whatever you guys are doing and just relax, stretch, meditate for 3 minutes. Reading mode. Yeah, what I was saying was a good healthy habit to have for relationships is just to, like, you don't necessarily have to check up on your friends and be like, hey, how are you doing, right? But to just message them and be like, hey, did you hear about this? Or hey, could you take a look at this and help me out with this? Or hey, look, this reminded me of you, right? Because like nobody, of course, everybody hates small talk, right? But I think it's good to just check up on your friends every so often as like an appreciation for them so that you know, so that you guys don't drift apart. I think that's even though like, you know, some people can be like, yeah, we've drifted apart for a year, but like it's so easy to just reconnect again. I think it's still a good habit to have to be like, hey, you know, how are you doing? But like not say in a way that's like, how are you doing? Because everybody hates that question. Check on them if they're alive. That too, yeah. To stay connected. And like that's one thing I'm really, really bad at. That's like the number one thing I'm really bad at. I feel like more people check up on me than I check up on them. So like for me too, I'm trying to like build up that habit to be like, you know, I wonder what they're doing, right? Because once you reach a certain age, you get to a point where you're like, damn, I feel like I don't really have anyone around me that I can rely on. It was, for me, I did get to a point from like when I first moved here, when I first moved to a different country, I was like, I don't have anyone that I can rely on. But I realized that after people were doing that with me, it's easier to be like, once, I don't know, a decade later, it's like, oh, now I have like 10 people around me that I can talk to about this one situation that I'm in. Or, I don't know, I want to host a party, now I can invite some people over because we all kind of know each other now. I still keep in touch with a friend in Australia who I met in the very early MapleStory days. Her birthday happened a few days ago and we emailed each other a bit. That's cute! I stopped emailing people because now we have like Discord and social media. That reminds me too, I had a friend from Australia that I know from like a decade ago. They were here in chat before, just for like a while. The older you get, the harder it is to make friends. Yeah. That too, because we all become skeptical and we all become untrustworthy of each other, and it's like, how do I know that this person I'm meeting right now isn't trying to take advantage of me, right? It's so much difficult to make friends. The older you get, the friends that you still keep in touch are the true friends. Yeah, that too. I would say that even if you don't keep in touch with them, they can still be true friends. There are like people I know who I haven't talked to them in months, right? Or if I haven't talked to them in a year, but I know that if I were to message them about something, right, they would immediately respond and immediately help me out, and it would feel like we didn't have that distance, that time distance that we had earlier. I could say that about like family members as well. Like there are some family members where I'm like, yeah, I could like not talk to you. Like I haven't talked to my sister There was one point where I didn't talk to her for like 2 years. But I know that I can still rely on her for a lot of stuff, and she can rely on me for a lot of stuff. Like, we would just talk normally as if we didn't, it wasn't like we stopped talking to each other for 2 years. And there are friends that I have that are exact same. That's how I am with some of my school friends. Yeah. Like, you guys may have seen some of my friends here too that I haven't really talked to at all for like months at a time. They just suddenly appear in my chat and I'm like, oh, hi. You guys might have seen Wonky Sticks here a few times. Wonky Sticks is one of them. I've known that guy for like over a decade. but I don't really talk to him. I went to my World of Warcraft friend's wedding. Holy shit, that's so cool. Like, not in-game, right? Not in-game, not like a World of Warcraft in-game wedding, but like a real wedding. Sometimes we joke, like I joke with some of my online friends. I'm like, yeah, if I ever get a wedding, which I'm not, which I'm never going to have a wedding, but I'm like, if I get a wedding or a funeral, you guys better come. An actual wedding, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You actually meet a lot of people online. You don't realize this, but one of the best ways to make friends is through online communities. Actually, yeah, all of the friends that I've met right now, like my in real life friends, my IRL friends, I've met through online communities. We need that Stardew wedding arc. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting too, but my husband hates me. My Stardew husband. His wife's aunt was aggressively trying to get me hooked up with one of the bridesmaids. That's hilarious. That's pretty funny. It's always the aunts. It's the mothers and the aunts. Something about them where they're like, yeah, let me just, can I get your contact details? Actually, there's this one time, very awkward, but like there's this one time I was just walking out on the streets. I was grocery shopping. And this older lady comes up to me and she's like, can I get your contact details? I was like, why? She's like, I want you to meet my son. I was like, what? I was like, no, I'm good. But it's hilarious. Like, it's hilarious that they do that. It's like the mothers and the aunts. Mom best wingman, yeah. That actually happened with my mom too, where my mother was visiting me. She wasn't even here yet. She was on a plane, okay? She's like on a plane getting to where I am. And she was sitting next to another lady, right? And somehow they ended up exchanging contact details because they wanted me to meet their son as well. And I'm like, why does this always happen? Why does this always happen? Yes, wild. I did end up meeting them, but it's such an awkward situation because I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for this at all. Matchmaking moms, yeah. Yeah, my mother is one of those people who is like, or if you don't get married after a certain age, you're never gonna get married. And I'm like, I'm good. Mom probably thinks you have no riz. No, she knows I have plenty of riz. I just don't care. I just don't care for it. I'm surprised you agreed to meet up with a stranger. I mean, to save my mom's face, right? To save my mom's reputation, I didn't want to be like, yeah, fine, let me just turn down your new friend. Right? Like, I'll at least give it a try. I'll at least try. Like, it's just one day. It's just one day. It's just one date. And I'm like, okay, fine. It didn't work out. it was way too much. I think the person that my mom introduced me to was like, I think they were like really, really looking to settle, and I was like, yeah, I just want to play games, guys. I just want to play games. I just want to play my team fight tactics. I just want to play Stardew Valley. I don't feel like, yeah, it's too much responsibility. Mood, yeah. Yeah. Dude's moving fast. I feel like people around my generation, I know I'm 5,000 years old, but like my generation is kind of on the fast, is trying to move fast now. Like I had someone I knew, this is like years ago, but they were like turning 30 human age, and they've only just met this one person. They've met for 2 months. They've only been dating for 2 months, and they're like, yeah, let's tie the knot. And I was like, you're kidding me. You barely know this person. And they're like, no, I'm turning 30. I have to. I don't understand that. Like I myself am not that type of person. I'd be like, I need to know someone for like 10 years. Are they still together? Yeah, but they have a very rocky relationship, and I think that's the problem, right? When you don't know someone well enough and you end up buying a house together, you end up like tying the knot, it will be a very, very, very rocky situation. And then you're stuck with them for your entire life. Unless, like, you know, there's a divorce, but I don't think like they're really into that. People like those cause me so much trouble. Or like my coworker, for instance, he also, my ex-coworker, my previous coworker, because I don't work there anymore, but same thing happened to him. He was like, I'm never going back to India because the moment I go back, I know they're gonna shove, like my parents are gonna shove me into some weird relationship with another girl. But he had to visit anyway because his parents are there. He comes back and he was like, man, I live in a friggin' like studio apartment with like 1 bedroom and like a tiny ass bed, and I'm back here now with some random girl I barely know. I feel so bad for the guy. But yeah, things like that happen. They should have go for the long game. Yeah. The best relationships are the ones where you're kind of just like in each other's company. Like you're like an old person, right? Like an old person relationship. Like grandma, grandpa relationship. Where people, they don't really rely on each other, right? But it's just like, yeah, you're in my space, I'm in your space, and we're just living together. I think those are the best relationships. The dude had no backbone to say no to his parents. Well, I'm guessing he did it because he did come back with a girl. Funny guy. That sounds cool. It's actually, no, it's not. It's actually not cool. Not cool at all. Because what if you don't know them? Like, what if they hate your guts? What if you hate their guts? But now you're forced to live with them forever. Ever and ever. Sometimes I hear the argument from older people and they're like, yeah, that's how relationships work, right? Like, I never liked your dad, or your dad never liked me. But we just somehow made it work. And I'm like, no. that's not how it works. That's just tolerating each other. You got someone you can parallel play with. Yeah, someone that you can, you know, share the same hobbies with and talk about the same things that you're both into. I just tell mine I will stop talking to them if they force me. They're roommates, not in a relationship. Yeah. Essentially. You know, your parents will never give in to, because I tell my parents that sometimes, or no, it's my parents that tell me stuff. They're like, if you do whatever thing that you're doing right now, we're gonna disown you. And I'm like, sure. Sure, go ahead. I don't care. I'll just do it anyway. I live my own life. Get you someone to drive you around? I do need someone to drive me around because I have no car. I want to get a car, but the car I'm looking at is basically an Alienware in the car world. It's basically like getting an Alienware PC. A Cybertruck? No. No, they're ugly. Look, Alienwares do look good. At least the recent ones. The Aurora? That one looks really freaking good. You want an EV? No. No, I want a Mini Cooper. Alienware still think I'm using it right now. Yeah, I'm using Alienware. Forgot about them. They don't really innovate anymore. Big companies don't innovate anymore. That's probably why you don't hear about them anymore. Yeah, Mini Cooper. The only problem is that all the car shops aren't very good at fixing them because this is what I heard. I don't know because I'm not a car person, that the insides of a Mini Cooper is very different from a regular car, right? All of the infrastructure inside the Mini Cooper is completely different. So getting a Mini Cooper repaired will be a lot more money and it will be a lot more work, and plus it's not like a better car than any other cars, it just looks cooler, so you're really just paying for the aesthetic of the car. It's also very moddable from what I heard. Very, very moddable. So like that's like, I love aesthetics. Knowing, if you guys know me, I love visuals. I love things that look nice. So I'm like, there's no way I'm getting myself like a regular looking car. I want a Mini Cooper. Ever since Dell bought Alienware, it hasn't really been the same, but they get the job done. Is that why the Alienwares are only purchasable through the Dell shops? I never noticed that. I didn't realize that Dell bought out Alienware. Yeah, it hasn't really been the same. They do look nicer though, but they're also a lot cheaper than getting like another pre-built PC. They make them a lot more affordable. That's why my Alienware is only like $1,700 Canadian. I need to blow my nose. Here's the thing, like I live with other people, so people can drive me around right now. This is why I'm hermiting, guys, because I can't leave the house without a car now. There's nothing around me but forest and trees. So in order to get to places, I need my housemates to be like, hey Ark, we can drive you, we have time right now. But when I actually move out, next year, I'm gonna need my own car. I'm gonna need one. I have to start saving up. Because I'm still gonna be on the outskirts of the cities. I'm still gonna be in the middle of nowhere. No public transport. There is, but it's terrible. I'm so used to living in big cities. I'm used to living in cities where like transportation is very accessible. There's like a bus every 10 minutes. There's a 10-minute walk and there's a metro line or a subway station. A bicycle. The problem here is that we don't have good bike lanes. In fact, there's barely any bike lanes. And the cyclists here have really bad reputation too because they don't know where to bike. Neither do us. Because you can't bike on the sidewalks and you can't bike on the car road. So like, where the heck do you bike? You're gonna get yelled at regardless. No matter where you bike, people are gonna yell at you. We drive on dirt roads in the middle of nowhere. We're actually not like in the middle of nowhere. There's still like very established roads and pavements and stuff, but there's just no place to bike. The bike lanes are used as passing lanes for cars, at least in my area. Oh my god. We need better bike lanes. I don't know where all of our tax money's going. I don't know. We need bike lanes. We need more stations. I get kind of angry because like we've gotten some projects where it's like, yeah, we're gonna open up a new line, a new subway line going from like city outskirts into the city. They had one built somewhere like not in my area but like in another area, and then they removed it because they're like, yeah, it's too costly to maintain. And I was like, but it's so useful. It's so useful. She's getting a Mini Cooper. There's no way she's getting a bike. I want to live in a place where you don't rely on cars as much, because I hate car roads. First of all, like I've mentioned, I've only really lived in big cities all my life until now. And I'm used to very convenient, efficient public transportation. Like every single subway line was walkable distance from where I lived. The subway lines were in a spider web shape where it's so easy to get from one place to another place, and there's like 5,000 different options to do it. There's like, if you want to go from this line to another line instead of going from this line to that line, it's the same distance, but it's just another option for you to do so. But now it's like, nope, we just got like one straight line. It's this line or no line. We have bike lanes, but as a car driver, we don't like them because they're all idiots. If I had a quarter for every cyclist I've seen driving on the wrong side of the road, I'd be rich. Yeah, I don't know what that happens to. And like, nobody knows hand signals. Like, a lot of cyclists don't know hand signals. So like, how do you read them? It's like, are you sure they're not going to run into you, or you're not going to run into them? Places that have good transportation or walkability are often cities or other dense urban centers. Yeah, that's where I used to live. I miss it. I miss it. But no, I'm gonna have to argue with that. I'm gonna have to argue with you, because where my parents are living right now, they literally live in the middle of nowhere in the mountains. They live in the mountains, surrounded by water, right? And they had two different options of going to the big city. One is a subway line and one is a bus, and it's walkable distance for them. It's a 10-minute walk to get to the station from where they are. In the mountains, by the way. But recently, the government decided to open up like a bullet train from where they live. So like, now they have 3 options. Now they have a friggin' bullet train, like a magnetic rail train, a subway, and bus. So I'm like, hello? I don't even live in the mountains. I don't live in the middle of nowhere. Well, I kind of do, but like, not where my parents are. My parents are actually in the middle of nowhere, and they still have good transportation. A lot of cyclists don't know hand signals. Well, I can teach them one very easily. Only one they need to see. It's not gonna teach them anything though. I know what you're talking about. It's not gonna teach them anything to learn more hand signals. They expect me to go to work 8 kilometers through the woods, basically. A bus that runs 3 times a day. That sounds terrible. I'm so sorry. That is what's happening in my area now. We have a very good train line. Our train used to run every half an hour in the morning and then like every hour during the day. But they're like, nope, we're gonna save costs, right? So now it only runs in the morning and at night, like during rush hours. And if I ever want to go into the city in the middle of the day, I can't. Bullet train while living in California. Don't get me started on that one. Wait, what? Wait, why bullet train? What's going on in California? The bus that would take me nearest to my workplace still has a 4-kilometer walk from the stop to my workplace. A 4-kilometer walk? Oh my god. You're actually in the middle of nowhere too. Yeah, I'm just gonna move countries. Yeah, I don't wanna be here anymore. I'm gonna have to wait like another 10 years though. One day. One day. Maybe one day things will get better. It's so difficult to imagine though. Now I'm just whining. Now I'm just complaining about things. Look what you guys have made me do. Now I'm just complaining about about transportation. But in the city I used to live in, I lived there for 5 years, right? In the 5 years time, there was so much development. There was so much development. The roads changed, not just roads, but like districts changed. Like we had a whole bunch of stuff open up. And in those 5 years, the city that I lived in didn't look like what it looked like the year I moved in. And even now it's still changing. It's still changing a lot. It's still ever evolving. But where I am, it's been the same for like 20 years. It's been the same. Nothing has changed. It sucks. Ark acting like Freerin, what's 10 years? It's true. It's just 10 years. I blink and then 10 years have gone by. Go Singapore, every public transport is 8 minutes at max from each housing option. Yeah, I know Singapore is really great with public transportation too. Singapore is one of those cities where it's like very high tech. I've seen your airports. Why is there a friggin' waterfall in your airport? Like a giant massive waterfall in your airport. Your airport is a spectacle. It's like a botanical garden. That's insane. There's a zoo in the airport as well. Oh my god. No, I did not see the zoo. I only saw the waterfall and the plants. You guys have a zoo? That's crazy. To make a 17-year long story short, billions of taxpayer dollars are being flushed down the drain for a bullet train that to this day has nothing to show for it. It's all money laundering. It's all money laundering. It sucks. It's all money laundering. And plus, there's so many processes and papers that people have to do and inspect and fill out that the money gets... You start it with a really big fund, right? And that starts getting, you know, split amongst like 5,000 people. Because, you know, there's like this person who needs to inspect this thing, another person that needs to inspect this thing, but they all charge a lot for it. And so that massive fund gets turned into like... It spreads out like a little web. I've heard about there's a slide. You guys have a slide in the airport as well? Helsinki? The what? That's the capital? I've never heard of that place before. One day, I am going to go and visit every single capital in the world. I just want to see what all the cities are like. Ark! Yeah, awesome! Hi, Shady Tricks. Welcome in. The capital of Finland. That looks like a Russian city. Huh. I've actually never visited a lot of the European countries before. I haven't been to Finland. I've only been to places around the UK, just for work. I've been to Spain and France, like all of the big ones, but not Finland. Where you live embraces nature and chill living. Where you are from is massively embracing changes in buildings. It is in fact still expanding. The place I live does kind of embrace nature and chill, but I feel like you could mix the two together. You could have, like, think of Tokyo for instance. They have massive gardens and massive parks in Japan, right? They have a lot of them. In a way that is still embracing nature, you know, it's better than whatever we're doing here, where there's a lot of empty, not grassland, but a lot of woods and forests that is dangerous to go into, and it's all private property. but you're not doing anything with the private property. Nobody's allowed to go in it, walk through it, right? I feel like if we were to turn those places into like gardens and actual community spaces, then it would be, in that sense, it would be evolving, expanding, and embracing nature. But right now, everything's like gated. We have a lot of land, but it's all private property. No one's allowed to trespass. Dog with a soup, thank you for the 5 months. Yay! Literally, the only thing I like about Finland is the abundance of nature, and that's it. I heard Denmark's the same too. Wait, actually, no. One of my old coworkers is from Finland. And the pictures that he showed me, because after he got laid off, he was like, I'm moving. He's like, I'm moving to, like, literally a cabin in the middle of a grassland. Because he just got married and his wife just gave birth to his son, and he was showing me pictures, and it's literally just a cabin, and it's just a huge field of grass. And he's like, yep, this is how I'm gonna live from now on. He's like, I don't care, because he's a designer. He's like, I'm not taking any more commissions, because he asked me what I was doing. I was like, I'm doing commission work now, and he's like, I'm so sick of commissions. I'm just gonna retire. So no, I've seen pictures. I've seen pictures from my old coworker. I want to retire in a farm right now. Do it. Do it. Welcome back, Clock. Safe drive, I'm assuming. Yeah, I do think it'll be neat to live with nature as long as you're not required anywhere else. As long as you're not required to go into work. It's like a great place to retire and be like, yep, I'm just gonna live off the land. I'm gonna grow my own vegetables. I'm gonna grow my own food. I was talking to someone and they're like, I'm just gonna buy a castle in Ireland or something. I'm just gonna buy or a Scottish castle because they're pretty cheap in comparison to all the real estate here. Buying a castle is cheaper than buying a house here. And let's just all move there together. And we'll just have a farm. I'm like, are you sure that's how it works? It does sound like the life though. But I'm like, I'm not taking care of a castle, especially an old castle. It would be really hard to maintain, especially in like Europe where you do get cold weathers. Like, how are you supposed to survive the snows? I don't know. Here we have insulated walls and we have good piping. We have modern technology. In a castle, you can't really install that, no. It's hard. Start living mostly self-sufficient and sell wood to the government. That's why most people buy forests and farms here. I think that's a good idea. New funding projects. Buying a castle? It actually is cheaper to buy a castle than to buy housing here. Don't castles just maintain themselves? But how do you... Look, the place that you live in, the building you live in has to maintain you as well. Like, it's supposed to be shelter for you. So, like, of course, the walls and brick walls, stone walls can maintain themselves, but, like, are you able to live inside of one? One sec. I'm, like, congested. Okay, I'm back. It's nearly lunchtime. Is Nyart getting hungry? No, I'm... the coffee is keeping me full. And the wine is keeping me full. And the water is keeping me full. They did back in the day, so why couldn't I? No, they didn't. People died. People died back in the day. Thank you for the stretch and hydrate, Moogie. And back then, when the castles were first built, you still get very new materials. Excuse me. But now everything is like moldy. Moldy and old. The stone is probably full of cracks. There's probably like wind drafts coming through every single wall. So no, I don't think it's a very good living situation. You would need a lot of added maintenance or upgrades to the castle. The people that died probably didn't have a castle. I'm pretty sure they lived in it too. I'm guessing there's like a lot of weird diseases and bacteria inside the castle that you don't really realize exists. We all die anyway. I want to die with aura around me. The castles are there. You can buy them. Is this what they call liquid diet? Yeah, I guess so. This is what I have every morning. Just water and coffee. Just today I have a glass of red wine. Well, the only reason I have a glass of red wine right now is because my housemates are not here. And they opened up a bottle of red wine for cooking. And that bottle of red wine, they are not keeping it in the fridge, and it's turning into vinegar. So I'm like, let me just help them drink it before it turns to vinegar. It is slightly sour. It's been sitting out here for days. Sure. It's just an excuse. It's part of it. Part of the reason. It's not the full reason, it's part of the reason. Does the castle come with knight's armor and armory? There probably is an armory room, but there probably isn't any more armor or weapons or any of that sort inside the castle. It's really just the infrastructure. Is it red wine? Hey, no, it's not the size of a bottle. It's in a tumbler. It's in a wine tumbler. I can only have half a glass of wine at a time. I don't drink from the bottle. That's no fun. I used to just have a bottle of whiskey here that I had to take away because it was too much. And every time my friends come over, they laugh at me. They're like, haha, look at Ark's wine bottle or whiskey bottle that's just sitting on her desk. I do not want that type of reputation anymore. I got rid of it. I put it in the kitchen. I didn't dump it, of course, because it would be a waste, but it's in the kitchen. So every time I need, you know, a little bit of alcohol, I just go to the kitchen and I grab some instead of like having it in my arm's reach. My boss dumped a whole load of stuff on my desk. Goodbye. Goodbye, Azu. The whiskey is just for show. I mean, it's almost done. There's a little tiny bit left. The last time my friends came, they're like, oh, I see the whiskey bottle has been moved to the kitchen. And then I got laughed at again. But yeah, I need to finish it. Because every year my housemates get gifts. They get presents from people, and for some reason people always give them alcohol. But none of my housemates drink. So they have an alcohol shelf. And it's gotten so big to the point where the alcohol bottles are not fitting the shelves anymore. And they're just like, they're spilling out. So I'm not trying to help them finish everything, but it's more like, since I am moving soon and they are also moving soon, we somehow gotta either move it with us, right? Or I try to finish some so that we don't have to move as much. Mine did the same on Friday, 5 p.m. when I was looking at time to go home. Your boss is evil. Your boss is evil. My bosses, I've always had really nice bosses, but they're always like, hey Ark, I know it's not 5 yet. I know it's only 4 p.m., but it's a Friday. Wanna go home? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, let me go home. Or it's like 3 p.m. and they're like, yeah, hey Ark. I know you're done with work for the day. Wanna grab some beer? And I'm like, yeah. And then we go to the cafeteria together, and we drink for like 2 hours straight. What's your favorite whiskey? I actually really like honey whiskey. My favorite is Jack Daniel's honey whiskey, but like I don't have like very expensive brands, so I've not tried a lot of stuff. I also haven't had Jack Daniel's honey whiskey in a very long time. The whiskey I have right now is Canadian whiskey. It's the Crown Royal whiskey, which is okay. I think it's... Whiskey is just whiskey, you know what I mean? As long as it tastes like whiskey. But it's not as good as honey whiskey. Yeah, it's meh. It's okay. The peach Crown Royal whiskey, which came out for a limited time, was better. But Crown Royal itself is just it's okay. The reason why I'm drinking Crown Royal is because I live with a whole bunch of dentists, and the reason why they get gifts is because their patients give them gifts and they think it's so funny. They think it's so funny gifting them Crown Royal whiskey. So there's bottles and bottles of Crown Royal whiskey because, you know, teeth crowns. Yeah, so that's all I have. You can tell what's good whiskey. You can actually. They have blackberry? Really? That shit was my jam. Wait, hold on. Blackberry? I'm searching it up right now. Oh, they do! Oh, you're right, they do! Wait, they have two different ones. Why is there a darker colored? Oh, never mind. It's the same color. Blackberry flavored whiskey beverage. Interesting. The bottle looks cool though. I like the bottles. Right now. Right now. I need to start exploring different brands, but I can't. I can't afford it because there's still so much alcohol on the shelf that I have to finish. Or at least try to. There are times too when like we get guests over and then they look at the alcohol shelf and they're like, wow, that's a lot of alcohol. And then my housemates immediately jump on the opportunity going, do you want any? Do you want to take some home? Because nobody here drinks alcohol except for me. There's a lot. My main priority is the Crown Royal bottles because there's just so many of them. That's too funny. I think there was like a dark one. Like a dark whiskey for Crown Royal that I just finished. That one was okay too. Black. Crown Royal Black. That's the one. It's just okay. It's me. I don't drink. I can drink, but I don't. It's a bad habit. Don't do it. Because number one, high calories. Number two, it messes you up. Number three, it's just poison for your body. There's nothing good about alcohol. Time to throw a big party. I do throw tiny big parties. I throw parties when like not a lot of people drink and we just chill. Playing Crown Royale is nasty. Yeah, it is pretty nasty. That's why I put it in my teas. Clock, you drink tea now, right? Do you drink tea with milk? Because that's the best. Having like hot tea, hot milk tea, and you put a tiny bit of whiskey in it, makes it taste so good. Because it's a bit like, it adds like the sugar in the milk tea. But for me, I don't like having too much sugar in my milk teas. I only like having a little bit, so it adds... It's like the sugar, like a good enough sugar portion for it. You like strong plain tea? Ugh. Fine. Yeah, they're milk tea strats. Spiked milk tea strats. Ark saying that while sipping wine. Yeah, this is more like vinegar. it's vinegar wine now. I grew up with an alcoholic, so that kind of turned me off of it. That's fair. That's fair. Some people... I don't like mentioning alcohol too much. Like, I'm a very, very casual drinker. As in, I drink alcohol almost every day, but I try not to mention it so much because I know it's a really bad habit, and some people get triggered by it, so I try not to say it. Are you adding whiskey to your tea or adding tea to your whiskey? I'm adding whiskey to my tea. You sound exactly like my housemate. My housemate said the exact same thing. They're like, that's a lot of whiskey in your tea. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. It's only a little bit. It's a splash. I only ever drank alcohol once, and it was by accident when I visit family in Italy for whatever fucking reason. Someone kept wine in a Coke bottle. Is that a habit for people? Because my coworkers, no, not my coworkers, my classmates did the exact same thing. They tried to sneak alcohol into the classrooms by putting it in Coke bottles or Perrier bottles or tumblers. Hello, Kay. Welcome in. Almost every day, casual. Wait, something is not. Yeah, casual is... I guess, is that every day? We keep wine in random bottles too. Really? Oh, because we make wine. Okay, no, that makes more sense. Because buying wine bottles and then branding them is expensive. So no, that makes sense. Isn't it so they can drink in public? We did that in college? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of my classmates did it in college. Yeah. Oh, you're right. Oh, we do have a Nya redeem. It's Italy Nya. There's no drinking age to the family that knew about it, so no reason to stop me Nya. I love my coworkers for that reason, is because everyone was from Europe Nya. And every day they'd be like, hey, Ark Nya, let's go to a bar together Nya. With company money, yeah. You can order as much as you want, yeah. We have funding for this, yeah. Because the company itself was Norwegian. I worked in a Norwegian company, yeah. And so there was like alcohol funding, yeah. How much whiskey should I put in my tea, yeah? I want to try it, yeah. Just a tiny splash. Like 1 ounce. 1 ounce, Nya. Depends on how much tea you have, Nya. But it's just 1 tiny ounce, Nya. I love your Nyas and your comfy outfit, Nya. Thank you, Nya. I'm gonna blow my nose again. Tea? What tea, Nya? Oh, we were talking about milk tea earlier. And how I like to spike my milk tea with a bit of whiskey, Nya. I use, instead of using milk in my tea, Nya, I use a half-half creamer. Half and half. So that it's a little bit more creamy, Nya. And then I shove a little bit of alcohol inside, Nya. Also good with coffee, Nya. If you have Baileys, it's perfect. It is good with coffee, you're right. Good with coffee too, Nya. Milk tea whiskey is pretty good, Nya. Right? It is good. It is good, Nya. It used to be my favorite thing to drink, Nya, at night. Italy is a weird country, Nya. Speed limits are just suggestions. Crossing the street is like trying to dodge F1 cars, Nya. Sounds like Asian, Nya. Isn't that just Asian, Nya? My parents are from Asia, yeah. And I remember trying to cross the street with them here, yeah. We don't have any traffic lights here, so I have to like watch for the cars. And I like to wait until there's no cars around before I cross, yeah. But my mother was with me one time, And she was like, "Hey, Ark, if you're not gonna cross now, you won't ever be able to cross." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she like sprints across the road. And I'm like, "Hello? There's literally a car coming almost right now." And yeah. Dangerous lady. Sounds like my country. Yes, that's just Asian, yeah. Yeah. Like everywhere in Asian, yeah. I'm not used to it, yeah. I like to be safe. I like to be patient. I like to wait, yeah. Is your mom Asian? Your mom is Asian, alright, yeah. She's like, Ark, hurry up. And I'm like, no. No, we're gonna wait. I can't do it, yeah. And I think that's why my dad is also a very good driver, yeah. Not like a good driver in a sense where he looks everywhere, he's very safe, but more like he has very high reaction speed, yeah. I think he would be great at gaming. Because there are times when there were multiple times, not a few times, but there were like a lot of times when I was in the passenger seat, yeah. My dad's on the wheel, yeah. And I used to live in Asia. So people a lot of people don't signal, where I'm like scratching my head about, because like the whole point of having like a signal function in your car is to signal that you're passing, right? Or you're switching lanes, right? But people don't use it for some reason. And that pisses me off. But like people would try to merge into our lane and they don't even check their blind spots for some reason. And my dad's reaction speed is so fast. He's like so used to this. And almost every day, he's like swerving left and right because he's like, yeah, I can tell that this car is about to like merge into my lane. And I know that they're not going to signal. Like he can read their minds or something. And I'm like, I don't get it. It couldn't be mean, yeah. Isn't it like Asian? Yeah, well, there's a story I heard that might tell you otherwise. Someone that was driving in a Ferrari in Italy got pulled over. The cop told him he should be driving faster because it's a Ferrari. That's crazy. That's insane. No. I hate sports cars. I hate them. They look cool, yeah, but like for some reason everyone always adds like the stupid sounding engines. Like it's literally in the middle of the night and you're racing with your sports car. No thank you, no thank you. I had a friend who did that too and it annoyed the heck out of me. But he had a bike actually. And he would race around the square in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m. But I live like, okay, the square is a square of course, but there's like buildings, housing, apartments around it, and I lived in one of those buildings. But this guy would go out in the middle of the night and just race around that square in the middle of that district, and I'd be like, dude, I'm trying to sleep. I can hear you outside. Straight pipe muffler delete super loud. Is that what it is? I hate it. I hate it. But I'm also like pretty sensitive when it comes to sounds now because I live in a quiet area. So the moment I hear any like roaring engines, I'm like, I just roll my eyes. Just a tiny bit. You got a nasty note on my door. I work at 10 p.m. so I usually grab my bike at around 9 p.m. to get to work. My neighbors are old, all old people. Yeah, that's how it feels. That's how I feel. I am the old person because I live in an area where there's a lot of old people, and so everyone around me, including my housemates, are like sensitive to sounds. So that's why I have to be quiet too. So I understand. If it was like the city, I'd be like, yeah, okay, fine. I can hear the lady shouting swear words and slurs downstairs. My neighbors are arguing next door. The cat ears are too sensitive, yeah. It's just what happens when you live in a quiet area. Very quiet area. I don't hate it though. I think I've started to get accustomed to it. Now I'm starting to really like quiet areas, quiet places. My captain was saying that they filed complaints, but they've all gotten dismissed because it's not at an unreasonable time. There's one house. Thank you for the suggestion, hydrate. Have some whiskey. It's red wine. It's vinegar. There's one house that is diagonal of me. It's an Airbnb house. And people love to rent it out to hold these massive parties. And so all my neighbors hate it. They all hate it. We all complain about it. But we can't complain about the noise until 11 p.m. So all of my neighbors are like gathered around until 11 p.m. And then once 11 p.m. hits, everyone's okay. They're like, okay, let's phone up the cops. Man, that sucks. It is what it is. It's whatever. People can have fun too. I'd take a quiet area over having professional upstairs neighbor. Me too. I think before it was just something I got used to. Having the noise around me. That one lady who keeps shouting swear words downstairs at like 5 a.m. in the morning. But like after living in quiet areas, you start realizing that you love like that the peace and the quietness actually feels really good. It feels really good. So going back to living in the city where everyone's rowdy is such a huge whiplash to the point where you start noticing everything around you. Like you start noticing the people yelling, you start noticing the vacuums starting, like it's just, and you become so overwhelmed with noise. My neighbors have a lot of double standards. I think it's just an old people thing. Yeah, some old people are assholes. Some people are like, yeah, it's an asshole thing. I was very lucky, I think, that I have very nice neighbors. My favorite neighbors were actually old people. They were like old Italian people who kept inviting me into their house because they baked cookies. And at the time I was like tiny baby and I was scared of everything, so I was like, no, I don't really want to go in your house. And so they would bring out the cookies for me. Feeling the solace of breezy silent nights are the best. Yeah, when it's all dark, when there's no... Actually, the streetlights are kind of nice too. Not having streetlights is scary. I must vanish. Have a wonderful rest of the stream, Mark. Thank you. I'm about to leave too. I just realized that it is 12 p.m. At a place where we threw a bunch of parties this summer. I felt so bad for the neighbors. It is what it is. I've been to a lot of parties too where we're super loud. So sometimes I'm like, are we a little too loud? But like, I'm pretty sure that if they want to complain, they'll let us know. Ark is now on my new TV. 55 inches of Ark. That's a lot of Ark. Now I'm scared. Okay, well anyways. I'm gonna go have lunch. Yeah, I'm gonna go... I have work due today. I'm gonna go do some work after lunch. Go eat. Yeah, I will. Yum yum yum. Could trade your excess alcohol for pasta with your Italian neighbors. Yeah, those are my old Italian neighbors. I moved a lot. I moved around a lot. Probably moved like 10 times in my life. Those were one of the neighbors that I had that were really nice. I'm pretty sure... I don't know if they enjoy alcohol actually, because they were so old. Actually, every single one of my neighbors were... Not every single one, but like... A lot of them were Italian. Now that I think about it. A lot of my neighbors were Italian. And plus... Because I know, because they grow tomatoes in their backyard and they make their tomato paste in their garage and they always give me extra. At least I think they're Italian. Alright, goodbye. Goodbye, guys. Thanks for joining me today. I will be back tomorrow for some Story of Seasons. But also, Reminder, or in case you didn't see the announcements, I am tabling at a convention this weekend, so I completely forgot. Oh, ads are starting. I completely forgot I had to do that. So there's gonna be no stream this weekend. Yeah. Stardew. It says Stardew. Does it say Stardew? Ah, shit. Stardew it is. All right. Goodbye.